So, family size condos, I mean, it's kind of a controversial topic. I don't know why it can be 50% less to buy a family size condo versus a house. A house in downtown Toronto, for example, you're damn near 2 million. Resale value historically has been better for houses. I think that'll change. I remember back in, I think it was 2014, 2015. Shout out my old mentor, Brandon Ware. We were evangelists for 2-bedroom condos back then because we saw the value, 600 grand for 2-bedroom, 2-bath in King West. It's a great house alternative. A lot of that noise just kind of fell on deaf ears. I look in King West now, I mean, this was like 9 years later. I mean, those 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom condos that we're talking about that were 600 grand are now going for like 1.1, 1.2, 1.3 million. Family sized condos. So family sized condos, I mean, it's kind of a controversial topic. I don't know why, but I mean, in this city, I guess in society, sorry, I'm just going to pull up my notes right here. When we look at how family life is portrayed in the media and in society, generally once you have a baby, there's pressure on people to get into a 2, 3, 4, 5-bedroom house with the driveway, with the white picket fence, with the pool in the backyard, with the dog and all that kind of stuff. And hey, that's the dream for most people. Most people, once they have kids, they feel that pressure that they have to get into a house right away. Even if it isn't the lifestyle for everybody, but I mean, people feel the pressure of having to do that, especially in large cities where, I mean, typically the school districts with single family detached homes tend to be better. I'm not going to get into the whole school debate because, I mean, some of those rankings and stuff like that don't make a lot of sense because it takes into account sometimes like people's income and all this kind of stuff. So anyway, let's not get into that. But yeah, generally the pressure for most young families is to get into a house. So what do most people do? So buying in the kind of trendy neighborhoods in the downtown cores of most major cities is practically impossible for most middle class. I mean, especially right now with the millennials really getting into nesting mode, having kids, getting married. It's not feasible, right? When we look at the average price of a house in downtown Toronto, for example, you're damn near 2 million in most downtown neighborhoods, most of the trendy areas. And if you look at most cities across North America, it's the same thing, right? If you want to be in the kind of the trendy neighborhoods in the city, you're looking into the several millions of dollars. So it doesn't work. So what does a family do? So then your next thought or option is to move to the suburbs. Yeah, the suburbs were great 20, 30 years ago when your average commute from most of the suburbs into the downtown core 20, 30 years ago was maybe 25, 35, 45 minutes. Some people my parents' generation who, let's say, lived in Barrie and worked downtown Toronto, said 45 minutes to an hour and they're at work. That doesn't happen today. I mean, if you lived in Barrie, most people who live in Barrie that work downtown Toronto can probably attest to this. On the best of days, it's a 90-minute commute, especially when it comes to traffic, or if there's accidents, or if there's snow, or if there's rain, or if there's a cloud in the sky. You're looking at a 90-minute commute to downtown Toronto. So all this to say is that there's all this pressure to buy a house, and it's not necessarily the lifestyle for everybody. So if we look at condo life for a family, a lot of people will pull up all of the cons, right? So what are some of the cons to living in a condo with a young family? So I mean, size. So yeah, you're not going to get necessarily all of the square footage of a house. Now, I mean, a lot of houses, they include either basement or hallway space when they factor in square footage, or staircases. So if you deduct a lot of that square footage, I mean, the size delta usually isn't that large. However, you get the division of space, usually multiple floors. Privacy and noise, right? I mean, if you're looking at a detached house on a large lot, sure, you're getting that. Now, the whole privacy and noise thing, when you get to the suburbs, the way the suburbs are built, at least in the greater Toronto area, I don't know if you're getting that much privacy. But I mean, at least, yeah, you don't share a hallway, I guess, with your neighbors, and you have maybe a foot of grass between your neighbor's house that gives you a little bit of privacy, and maybe a fence in your backyard. Outdoor space. I mean, unless if you're getting a condo townhouse, then some of them may have backyards. For the most part, mostly all you're getting with a condo is a balcony or a small terrace if you're lucky. You also have condo rules with condos, right? That's one of the cons. I mean, you'll have noise rules, pet rules, occupants per suite, especially getting to co-ops. They may restrict the amount of people you're allowed to have in a co-op. Resale value, I mean, historically, houses have done better in terms of percentage of increase. Now, that has been the truth historically. I think moving forward, larger family-sized condos will start gaining steam. I remember back in, I think it was 2014, 2015. Shout out my old mentor, Brandon Ware. When I was on the Ware in Toronto real estate team, Brandon and I used to make videos talking about 2-bedroom condos. And I remember way back in those days, I mean, 2-bedroom condos, you could snap up a 1,000 square foot, 2-bedroom, 2-bath condo in King West for under $600,000. And we would be prophesizing and we were evangelists for 2-bedroom condos back then because we saw the value. $600,000 for 2-bedroom, 2-bath in King West. It's a great house alternative. You're 20-minute walk into downtown Toronto. And I mean, a lot of that noise just kind of fell on deaf ears. I look in King West now, I mean, this was like 9 years later. I mean, those 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom condos that we're talking about that were $600,000 are now going for like 1.1, 1.2, 1.3 million. If you had bought a condo then, you made a pretty decent return today. So, and now, especially with the condo market kind of going through some tough times, yeah, resale value historically has been better for houses. I think that'll change. And now that brings me into the pros. So we talked about the cons and all the negatives, and that's what society tells us that is bad about living in a family-sized condo. But what are the pros? What are the benefits to a family-sized condo? Number one thing is price. Price is significantly less. I mean, we just looked at Weston. We saw the difference between a detached house and a condo. A lot of times it can be 50% less to buy a family-sized condo versus a house. When we look at the overall average in the city of Toronto, for example, I mean, the average condo goes for just over $770,000 versus a detached house is $1.78 million. So there's $1 million delta between condos and houses. Now, those condos at $770,000 are generally 1-bedrooms, but if we were to look at, sorry, I'm pulling it up on the map right here. So if we look at, I just kind of pulled up a radius of the city of Toronto from Bloor West to, let's say, the tip of the beaches and all the way up, let's say, into the 401. There are 158 what we could call family-sized condos. So let's look at the criteria right now. I did $0 to $1 million. 3 to 5 bedrooms, 2 to 5 bathrooms, and that pulls up, 158 condos currently on the market. When we then look at what's available, I mean, you can see a ton of options in tons of different neighborhoods, and the pricing, I mean, upwards of $1 million. There's a ton of options of family-sized condos. These are 3 to 5 bedrooms. So, I mean, 3 to 5, some of them might be den, but still, versus detached houses, you'll be hard pressed to find a detached house in the city of Toronto under $1 million. I mean, there's some in the underrated neighborhoods. So again, reach out to us and we can find you one. But if you are looking to be closer to downtown Toronto, or if you want to be in downtown Toronto, there are a plethora of options of 3-bedroom condos under $1 million that you can get today, like right now. Call us, we can show you some of these right now. So some of the other pros to condo life for a family: maintenance. You pay a maintenance fee for a reason. So you're not shoveling snow, you're not cutting the grass, you're not doing all the other random house things that you have to do with a house. It's constant maintenance. It's honestly like having a baby. I lived in a condo, I live in a house now. Special announcement coming at the end of this segment. Keep an eye out, but we are likely moving back to a condo. Convenience. Because condos are generally built on main avenues in kind of high traffic areas, You are close to everything. The nice thing with condo life is that when you need to do groceries, you're not always having to jump in the car, driving to Costco, driving to the Mega Mart, getting $900 worth of groceries. That seems like a lot, but I have 2 teenage boys and my 10-year-old's already 5'9". They eat, anyway, I'm not going to get into that. That's another podcast. But convenience. So everything's at your fingertips, whether it be groceries or shopping or even just like coffee, your barber, anything you need, because the condo is generally built on the avenue, everything's right at your fingertips. So you don't need to be doing massive shopping runs. Everything is generally within a 5 to 10 minute walk. So you're so convenient, especially if you look at the condos downtown. You're also close to work. You can do your groceries on your way home and be home and do all that stuff within a 30-minute commute from work to home. Do your groceries on the way home and you're done. Lifestyle. Again, because you're not having to do the other maintenance things, because it doesn't take you 2 hours to do your groceries, because it doesn't take you an hour to do school pickup, because it doesn't take you, we have so little time nowadays, it feels. I go through it. I wake up and I blink and all of a sudden it's 11 p.m. and I'm like, where the hell did the day go? Because I was doing so many other things. Condos, because you don't have to, you're paying a maintenance fee, you don't have to do all those other things, you have more time. So you can enjoy a better lifestyle. Because the price point is lower, you may have more money to take trips. I'm not talking about even extravagant trips. You have more time to just jump in the car and head to Niagara-on-the-Lake, go to wine tasting, or jump up to cottage country at a moment's notice, not having to think about, oh, damn, I have to cut the grass this weekend. Or in the winter, being like, I want to go to Nassau for 2 nights. And you don't have to think, oh man, if there's a snowstorm, who's going to shovel my driveway? I need to shovel my sidewalk, or I get a nice $90 ticket from the city, and also you're an a-hole if you don't shovel the sidewalk. I lived in a neighborhood with a lot of elderly people, so when I was shoveling snow, I was generally shoveling 5 to 6 sidewalks, including my own. Again, just because obviously a nice person, I don't want to have some of my elderly neighbors throw the back in a snowstorm. But again, time, right? It's a lot of time shoveling snow, maintenance, all that kind of stuff. Safety. The nice thing is living in a condo, especially the buildings that have a 24-hour concierge, is that, especially when you have, I have older kids now, there's a little bit of added comfort when I know when they leave, when they get off the streetcar stop is only a couple meters from where our likely new home is going to be. It's nice that once they fob into the building, there's someone there, right? So if they feel like unsafe for whatever reason, you have that extra added layer of security with a concierge, for example. And not only that, living in a building with a whole bunch of neighbors with a whole bunch of doors in a hallway, there's extra eyes and ears around for just feeling that extra bit of level of comfort and safety. And you have kind of that, again, when you're talking about safety and extra eyes, you also have community living, right? So there's been many buildings, especially when my boys were younger, we lived in condos where they'd be friends with some of the neighbors. I remember we lived on College Street. We had a little neighbor that was around the same age as both of my boys, and they used to hang out and play Duplo and Lego and that kind of stuff. So you also have sense of community in some areas as well with your neighbors and so on and so forth. But because people are so busy, sometimes you don't even interact with your neighbors as much when they don't live in the same hallway as you. You feel sometimes a little bit more connected. So what do you want to look for in a family size condo then? So if some of the pros outweigh the cons for you, and some of the stuff we've already talked about, what should you look for in a family size condo? Well, location, number one, because you're living in a condo and you're sacrificing a few of some of the pros of a house. So you want to live in a very convenient location. You want to be close to schools, parks, retail. You want to look for building amenities. And most people think right away, okay, well, we only have to look at kid amenities, buildings that have a playroom and all that kind of stuff. One under the radar thing that I like to talk about is you also want to look for adult amenities. There's a lot of buildings now coming up with things like wine cellars and dog runs and gyms and all this kind of stuff. Because while the kid-friendly amenities are definitely nice to have with kids, most of our kids are programmed Me and my boys play basketball, so we're always in gyms and all this kind of stuff. So sometimes even the kid amenities kind of fall away. Although having a pool and some of the kid amenities are great. Also think about the adult amenities, right? So if you have older kids and they're self-sufficient, they can be playing PS5. And if the building has like a wine cellar, for example, you and your partner can go to the wine cellar and have a drink while your kids are playing video games in the suite, or head to the gym once everyone's asleep and you want to go work out, you can do that. So also look for those amenities, because those are also very helpful to have, right? So think about, I try to stay healthy and I like to work out. I kind of had a bit of a gym in my basement, but it'll be nice having a full-size gym in a building where I can just run downstairs and not have to worry about babysitters and all that kind of stuff. I can have my youngest with me. He can be on his iPad in the gym, just hanging out, watching things, or even if he wants to participate in some of the gym activities, he can do that as well. So building in amenities, big thing. Building size. Most families, I mean, if you're looking for kind of like a slightly nicer lifestyle, you'll probably want to look for like mid to low rise buildings in many cases. Tend to build a bit more of a sense of community. There's generally less tenanted units in smaller buildings, more owners. Transportation, transit, big one. Now, most buildings are built on avenues, but the closer you can be to some of the nodes, some of the big stations, subway stations, GO train stations, Up Express stations, the better. And then future development. You also just kind of want to get an eye on like what's coming, what's going to be built. If you're buying a suite, is there going to be another massive building getting built right next door? It's going to impede your view or create noise or environmental things like dust and stuff like that. So you want to keep an eye out for that. Now, a good real estate agent will look for all those things and take all those things into account when they're helping you out. So reach out to us. We are great with family-sized condos. We believe in family-sized condos. So if that's something you are looking for, certainly hit us up and we can help you find those. So we're talking about a big announcement. We are going to have a new segment on this channel where I am going to be documenting my own journey from a house to a condo. We're a family of 4 with a dog. We live in a house in the city and we are downsizing to a condo. There's many reasons why we're doing this. We're staying in an under the radar neighborhood. So I'm not going to get into too much because I don't want to give away too much. That first episode should likely be dropping in August. So keep an eye out for that. We're going to be documenting our lives. You're going to have a little bit of a look into who I am, why we're moving back into a condo, why we're selling our 2,800 square foot house and likely buying something about 1,200 square feet, and get into all that. So that's the big announcement, ending the podcast on a positive note. So we would love to be your real estate resource of choice. Number 1. So hit us up if you're interested in any of the topics we talked about. Hit us up if you're interested in looking at buying, selling, renting in under the radar neighborhoods or anywhere in the city of Toronto. Certainly hit us up. We're more than happy to help you out. Even if you're not looking to buy right now, if you just want to browse, just want information, if you just want an opinion of value, anything real estate related, hit us up. More than happy to chat. Hit us with the Calendly link. Haven't had too many people book there. Don't be afraid. Book it. If you want to book a call just to chat about anything, if you want to rant about the Bank of Canada, rant about house prices, call us. We're more than happy to chat. Also, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below. If you like what you're seeing, keep liking, keep commenting, subscribe, tell your friends about us. This is Josh. This has been episode number 6 of the Under the Radar Real Estate Podcast. Peace out.